Hi, so their segment went just a little bit longer than I had anticipated, but I feel like we got a lot of good things, so whatever. Now we're going to move on to the question, and that question is, what are some of the reasons why we have homophobia today, and why is it so prevalent in our society? Pause. So now we're going to move on to my segment, and I'm just going to tell you one of the reasons I feel we have homophobia and why it's so prevalent in our society. So we are in a patriarchal society, and one of the downfalls of a patriarchal society is that you get toxic masculinity, which is dangerous for everyone because it promotes the masculine gender role as being violent, unemotional, sexually aggressive, so on and so forth. So you basically do another dangerous thing, which is define a human characteristic. So when you don't fit into this box of this defined characteristic, you get ostracized, shunned, and often looked down upon. So this toxic masculinity just bleeds into every kind of society because it's our society is very patriarchal, so it goes into everything else in all the cultures. So for gay men, how this is dangerous to the LGBT community. We're gonna go on gay men and then go into how it's dangerous for lesbians and then trans women and then how that's different in race. So for gay men, they're often characterized in the media as being flamboyant and hyper feminine, and that's looked down upon because it doesn't fit into this box of masculinity, and that's it's seen as threatening, and you can be put in danger because now you're being bullied because you don't fit into this box. And for lesbians, toxic masculinity promotes rape culture. So that's dangerous for a feminine lesbian, let's say, because we often define the lesbian role as being a butch or, a dyke. So let's say this feminine lesbian, she turns down this guy because she's a lesbian and she's not into men. Since she's feminine and that doesn't fit into that defined characteristic that we have for lesbians, she's lying. And she's threatening my masculinity, so I need to challenge that by raping her. Or, I need to bully her or, basically put pressure on her and and it'll go on. And that's dangerous. And as for trans people, they are just a completely different thing. They're completely unknown and we don't understand them. And since they're a complete unknown, I mean, we know what they are now scientifically and all that other stuff, but a lot of people are very ignorant about trans people. So they're completely in a different, they're over there. So those people often are brutalized and a lot of violent things happen to them and no one cares because they're completely other to us. So toxic masculinity bleeds into most culture, and we're going to talk about how it specifically bleeds into the LGBT community. So toxic masculinity is a part of the majority culture, and we all know what happens when we have a majority, we have a minority, and like always, majority rules. So in our culture, majority tends to oppress the minority and push their beliefs onto that minority, and they do this for generations to generations to generations. So you grow up learning these traits that they push and these beliefs that they pushed onto us. And while we might not, when we grow up and get a little bit more insight to this, we might not agree with what the majority has taught us, but it kind of clings onto us. It clings onto us, but of course we grow out of it, and people often come out of that shell of what the majority believes in. However, it does have some things that tend to stick. So in the Black gay community, as our guest speakers have said, Black people are often portrayed in the media as masculine roles, even the women. So many of them tend to internalize this view, and they feel the need to push that view onto other gay people who don't fit into that box, basically policing them, which is also called hegemony. And also in the Black community, we have a lot of Black men who have an outward appearance of being straight by having a wife and a kid, but in secret they tend to sleep with men, which is dangerous for everyone in the end, because one, you're risking you're risking your wife having any kind of diseases, and then you have the psychological damage that you have by being in the closet and not accepting yourself. And I also feel that toxic masculinity kind of bleeds into other parts of the culture, but that's another video. And for those men who have a kid and a family but sleep with men in secret, they tend to be the most homophobic because they feel that regular flamboyant, not regular, but flamboyant gays are a threat to them because, one, let's say we have two black gay men in an environment. One is ultra masculine and one is ultra flamboyant. So that gay man who's masculine is going to feel that ultra gay man is a threat to him, because because everyone around them is going to see just two black men and one being gay. So they're just going to associate that gay black man with that other black man. So that black man feels that, okay, they're probably going to see me this way. So I'm going to make sure I do my damnedest to hide that by being incredibly homophobic, threatening and bullying that other one. So there you go. And so discuss what I just said, and thank you for watching.